Good morning. Many times in our authentic search to do what God wants with our lives and to be the best person we can be, kind of aligning ourselves to the divine, we believe that we need to say yes to everything. Yes to hardship. Yes to suffering and sacrifice. Yes to grief and sorrow. And sometimes that's true. And other times it's not. Sometimes God needs us to say no. How do we know the difference? How do we know when we're supposed to say yes and when we're supposed to say no? And I think the key is the word supposed to. St. Ignatius, my buddy, has a process for discernment that has worked for, over hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years for people. He died in the Middle Ages, and he spent his whole life discerning how to help people find the divine. That endless search, that hunger we have in our hearts, that longing we have for union with something greater and longer lasting than ourselves. It's mysterious. But Ignatius has some ideas. And one of them, here in discernment, when do we say yes and when do we say no? When do we make this choice and refuse to make that choice? When do we welcome this person and have second guesses and maybe not so much welcome that person? There are two main characteristics to the discernment that St. Ignatius recommends. One is when you are anticipating a decision, when you are imagining what a decision would be like, choosing this or choosing that, it's to see yourself going through completely the choice. Imagine yourself having said yes to both options or all three options. Seeing what it would be like to get up in the morning knowing that that decision was ahead of you, that that choice was. Let's use a new job, for example. So I would get up in the morning, I would get dressed according for this new job. I would drive to this new job. So I'm imagining all this. I'd get out of my car in the parking lot of this new job. I would pull my keys out for the building, if there are. Then I would walk into the lobby, and then I'd make my way to my office, and I would imagine myself greeting the people that I see on my route to my office, etc., right? Imagine it thoroughly. And then secondly, see what happens to my spirit while I'm doing that. Pay attention to that small, still voice within us. That is there a quickening? Am I eager for this? Is there a sense of anticipation and life and hope? Do I like the idea of being there? Do I see more positivity as I walk closer and closer to my office and imagine myself interacting with my boss? Now, there's still going to be anxiety and uncertainty. That's a no-brainer. But what is my spirit revealing to me? Am I paying attention? A lot of times we just push through, right? I got this. But our spirit, our heart, this weighing of what we do next is where God comes into play. God helps us discern not what God wants for us, but what makes us the most complete, the most whole, the happiest, which is actually the same thing. That's what God wants for us. So when you're weighing a yes or a no, when you're weighing this choice or that choice, follow these two ways that St. Ignatius recommends, fully and thoroughly imagining from start to finish your day of what that would look like. And then pay attention to what emotions are rising within you. If you feel a heaviness and a sadness and a kind of resignation to this position, then it might be time to discern again, because God might be nudging you, saying, this might not be the best choice, even if it pays more. even if it's closer to home, even if it's the job that everybody else in your life thinks you should get, and it's a dream job. You are the one discerning. Discernment is this holy, mysterious process in our lives, and we can do it with everything. We should do it with everything, or we end up living the lives that someone else wants for us. We end up doing what we really don't want to do. Sometimes that happens in sacrifice, but ultimately, if we've discerned well, the answer should come clear. Ask God to help to be part of your process. It's not always yes. Sometimes God encourages us to say no.